now. It really is. Best of 3 time, once again, as we go into the bottom right. Our red Terran player is Bomber, taking on the blue Protoss in the top left, Creator. And as we kick off into game 1 of this best of 3 series. So, setting this up, Nexus about to finish. You see a gateway dropping down. And the probe's going to go on a little bit of a move out here. Get this set to go. So probe on its way down through the bottom side. It's going to pass by the watchtower and just continue its way down, all the way down the bottom here in the end. The simulator is going to finish up from Creator, so going to get that completed, and yeah, just going into this first game of the series. Protoss versus Terran. It's been kind of a good mix of things we've seen Protoss versus Terran as our kind of build orders and compositions as of late. So yeah, kind of interested to see what will happen here. This probe comes down to the low ground and is moving around to obviously scout. An SCV or two going to come in and chase that probe a little bit as well. So probe taking a lot of damage right now and actually goes super low. Just trying to be annoying and delay the CC a little bit, but nothing really came of that in the end. But yeah, you get the information as correct. He's going to pull down over here and keep the probe out of the way for a while. The idea is you want to keep that probe as safe as possible when the Reaper pops out, because if you can come back in and scout again with the probe, then brilliant. We'll see where Bomber checks with the Reaper. You can see he thinks the probe is somewhere. He wants to try and figure it out, double checking some proxy spots as well before he goes across the map. I'm going to check this right side too. So Kratos put the probe in the right spot. He actually sends an SCV on the map. I mean, Factory's about to finish. This SCV timing kind of feels like he wants to proxy the starport, in which case he'd probably want to go into Hellions and then obviously get the Hellions into the medevac and maybe a bit of a drop there. So this probe continue to move around and is going to come back over towards the natural as we have got the Reaper. We'll get the kill, so obviously Reaper not going across the map means it's still here to help defend. And no information picked up by the probe. Imagine this was like, you know, Reaper was out on the map, probe gets up here, probably sees the reactor of the Hellions, and then you get to know, okay, maybe Hellions on the way. The Depth is going to try and shade in, but the Hellions will be okay to defend that. Now there's an Oracle building. The problem is with this Stargate open, if the Oracle isn't at home, you're extremely weak to the counterattack or the Hellions here. So it also means you don't have a lot of counterattack potential against the Hellion drop. So usually if you open like Robo and War Prism, if you take damage from the Hellions, the counterattack can just kill the Terran because you don't actually have like many units to defend units in a War Prism. That's obviously not happening here just yet, as we do see the Hellions continue to fight. You see one Adept down, and a second Adept will drop down as well, so both of those will go down. Medevac pops out from Bomber and is going to be setting up the left side. Oracle, oh, is going to spot those few Hellions. That's a nice catch. Bomber, unfortunately, he was putting himself in such a good position there, but now he sees what's going on. The Italians are going to sneak into the main base though still, so they still get here and actually will start to take down a few probes, about 5 so far. Lifts up into the medevac, trying to waste some Oracle energy. I mean, the Oracle's got lots of them, just not going to be an issue. We'll get a couple more probes here before this is done. Some nice damage all said and done. We'll look at the probe skill in a moment. 9 of them taken down, so not a bad opener. Unfortunately, the Oracle sees the Hellions, right? Because if that Oracle does not see the Hellions, it just, you know, Hellions just, the Oracle continues across the map, the Hellions arrive, and the Hellions were the main part, you know, Oracle's the main part of the defense there, so you get way more probes. That's very unfortunate for Bomber, but at the same time, it also means the Oracle pulls back to defend rather than being aggressive, and now he's got a good defense against the Stargate units with Cyclone, and also Viking from the proxied starport. So actually, altogether here, Bomber's looking pretty okay. Those Phoenix have been on the hunt, they've been down this left side looking for the starport. No way are they going to go up this side now. Okay, they split up. If they'd gone both that way, they wouldn't have found it. Now they'll be able to get some damage done as this starport taking a few hits. Starport continuing down to the lower right. This Oracle around the far right side obviously wants to find a way in, but again, what are you going to do against double Cyclone and a Viking? Nothing at all. We're now going up into the 3 racks, and they're going to swap around on the add-ons, and we're set to go into Stim and Combat Shields. Creator's going to make his choice as well, which is going to be to go into the Forge and the Robo Bay, so setting up towards that. Forge and the Robo Bay getting started here, and as we do see the few Phoenix just on the right side. Obviously with a few Phoenix out, you're kind of really restricted in terms of what you can do on the map. You can't drop or anything. Just down the bottom. Still looking to see what's up. Robo Bay does finish now. A couple of gateways on the way in here from Creator as well. Turret starts up, Supply Depot will drop down. And again, our Phoenix is going to go up the left side, trying to figure out where they want to go. The Oracle will finish up a Stasis Ward on the right-hand side as well, so... yeah, so far so good. A few more Phoenix gathering up, and they're going to go toward the main base. Concussive Shots finishing. Because we do have Stim and Combat Shields already done, so this is the first real push from Bomber that's going to be quite scary. Medivacs are out to go along the map as well. And the Phoenix are using a lot of their energy kind of being aggressive, which means not much energy to be used at home. Creator's got that double shield battery set up, and he needs the shield batteries to defend here. The Colossus will help as well. It's going to be good, I think, for... I think it's going to be a good defensive grid. I don't think there's a way you break this as Bomber. Maybe without the shield batteries you can. He's going to stim here, he's going to fight. The force fields are decent also. He makes his way through the Zealots, but then the shield batteries come into play, right? And, I mean, what are you really dealing damage to here? You get a couple of sentries. I mean, yes, sentries are expensive, and they're probably going to have to be replaced, but you lose a lot of units, and especially as you try to retreat, the Phoenix come into their element, lifting up units that just can't get away, so, next thing you know, you're just losing more and more units, and you've just not really gained enough from all of this to make it worth your time. About 1,000 resources down here in terms of what's been lost. Bomber is not having the better end of the trades. And that means that Creator now very comfortably can just build up into a couple more Colossus. And from there, Creator can maybe even start pushing himself. 2-3 Colossus, push onto the map with the Warp Prism. Try and get some damage done. As long as you don't get counter dropped and a lot of damage dealt in that way, you're pretty safe, and he puts you into a pretty good spot in general. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, you could also just go straight in towards Storm. I kind of like the idea of pushing out again, getting Storm behind that push out. The only thing that Creator will be missing is because he's got Colossus first here. His upgrades are kind of late, and when he goes Double Forge, he's got +1 armor, but he's got +1 weapons and now shields as well. But the one thing I think is really important is the Twilight Council upgrade. So we don't have Blink, we don't have Charge. So that's the one part of this armor from Creator that is going to be that much weaker than you might expect it to look for the next little while here. Able to come in and pick up a couple more Marines, so a little bit more damage being dealt as we do see the Starport, extra barracks in the main base being delayed. And those Phoenix are just picking up a lot of value as well, and if they get a medevac kill, even better, right? I mean, you find the medevacs as they spawn, and that's why those Phoenix are so frustrating. They're just all over the place, and you've got to really babysit all of your units, all of your reinforcements, otherwise they're just going to be free pickings. And if you can keep the Phoenix alive to be able to do that again and again, they pay for themselves 2-3 times over, while keeping you very safe in the early game as well, right? Because they keep you safe from drops, any early game aggression. What does Phoenix not deal with? Well, Cloak Banshees if there's no detection, but that's about it. Early tank pushes, Phoenix lift up the tanks, boom, main part of the army gone. Widowmine drops, lift up the Widowmines, they can't burrow. Hellion attacks, lift up the Hellions, they go down real quick because they're light units. Phoenix get bonus damage. So Phoenix are just great in the early game. In fact, one of the only good things against Phoenix is probably just going into mass bio from the start, which is just a bad way to play in every other scenario against Protoss. So it's really tough to kind of figure out what to do against this. And, when the Phoenix on top of that can be used in the mid game, that's why it's so powerful as well. It's not just like you're playing extra safe to make sure you don't take damage early. You get potential damage after too, and that's exactly what Creator's been able to do this game. And now Bomber is in a bit of trouble because of it. He's going to try and go for a big drop in the main base. There's a bit of an army spread out here. It's very possible he can take down that Colossus and do this, though. Let's see. So that's warping in. Okay, Bomber decides to pull back a little bit. Doesn't dive in it just yet. Now he's going to go for an Immortal. Big attack on the right side, but look at this. Creator is so ready. Storm isn't ready, though, so that's the one thing he's missing, but only for a few more seconds. Bomber does manage to escape with one of these medevacts. In fact, Bomber didn't really lose much at all here. Will get lifted up by the Phoenix, and that means the Phoenix have free pickings on the medevacts, and they're going to get chasing. I mean, again, no anti-air. You killed off all the Marines. Medevacts, again, can just be picked off for free, but they do boost away, and it seems like the Phoenix were not too eager to chase those down as much as they're eager just to save the rest of the army. As you see Bomber moving into the middle again, he's literally just playing mass bio though. I just feel like mass bio isn't really going to work when it comes to trying to deal with splash damage. Now see a Revelation dropping down, he's just going to pull back. A lot of Zealots starting to go down here, but they're just so slow to drop. And now we see pushing forward, the Marauders going to try and get themselves on top of the Colossus, but Wolfism can save those as well. And Bomber is just unable to break through this, and again, mass bio doesn't really work. There's a reason you build support units, and it looks like he wants to start making Liberators with the Fusion Core. You know, you don't need a Fusion Core for Libs, but you do need the Fusion Core for Liberator range. So it feels like he was getting towards that kind of part of his plan, but, well, that doesn't matter at all if you're going to die before then. Which is exactly what's about to happen. Bio does get into a concave and tries to press forwards, but a couple of storms dropping down, medevac's being cleaned up, and in general, this seems like a bit too much, right? Just this army continuing to press forwards here. From Creator, and Bomber will be having to tap out of game number 1, giving Creator the lead in this series to start this best of 3 in the round of, I think this might be round of 16 or round of 8. Creator's able to grab the first game of the map, first game of the series. So we are in game. Just taking a moment to have a look at the bracket, and in the top left side, Red Terran, who has, well, not had the best of starts to the TvP here. It's Bomber. And the bottom right, our blue Protoss player, Creator. $400 to be won today, $50 to 3rd and 4th place, and in 2nd place you get $100, and if you win the grand finals you double up to $200. So $400 prize pool, spread out quite nicely. Trophy Cup used to be a $500 prize pool weekly event, but I don't mind it coming, like, you bring it down to $400, but at the same time, you know, all you're really doing is you cut $100 off first place prize, which is obviously a sizable amount, but it's still very good for a weekly event. Alright, so probe popping up in towards this main base here. Having a look to see what's going on. Probe pulls over behind the mineral line for a moment there. Reaper building up from Bomber. And a couple of SCVs just dealing some damage to the probe as well, so we'll get some damage out. Command center going to start up on the natural. Just getting that command center started, and early game looking kind of as you would expect it to for the moment. Quick update, by the way, I believe Q has just won against Cyan, so that would be Q through to the round of 8, and then just waiting for Solar to finish his series to potentially play against Solar in that quarterfinal matchup. So I think we're going to be watching out for that Q Solar game. In fact, Solar's already out of game, so might even be finished, just waiting for a bracket update. Absolutely a possibility. We will stick with Bomber Creator until the end of this series, even if Solar Q starts. We'll jump into that on the other side and go from there. Reaper hanging around on the natural as we do see the Adept coming over, and Reaper again pushed away. Twilight Council dropping down into the main base, and just going to be seeing the Widowmine coming up on the factory. So again, that ready to roll as the Sentry, nibbling the Reaper. The Adept coming over and is going to go and get the Reaper as well. So Reaper just go down, and there goes Creator. Out up through the left-hand side of the center of the map and going across the upper top. So the Adept will continue over here and want to apply some pressure. Creator goes from the Stargate opening to the Twilight Council opening. So that link will get started up at the moment. Hallucinated Phoenix from Creator around this top side, going to be going into the main base in a moment or so. Hallucination having a good little flight through, and yeah, Stimpack on the way, link building. Getting this set to go is, see a few Marines hanging out there in the natural. Factory going to move off the tech lab, and this barracks going to move and jump onto the tech lab as well. Starport will begin. Robot facility is on the way up here from Coretta, so getting that robot facility up and running, and a little bit of Marine Marauder. Hanging around out the front, combat shields will start. Stimpack about halfway done, and just seeing that Nexus about halfway along as well, so yeah, pretty standard up until now. Intrigued to see what Bomber's going to get up to then, because obviously he's been extremely passive early. 3 barracks is an opening this quick. It's just given him a lot of bio, and it's really going to be down to, I guess, just a couple medevacs that he's going to push. And we'll see if he can maybe break through with it in the next little while, as we do have the Bio Force just moving left and right a little bit, doing a little bit of a dance. And Marauder Junk comes out the front there and joins up as well. Stimpack about a completed combat shield still coming up as well, and again our Bio Force from Bomber will continue out into the middle. These few Stalkers of Creator pushing in, and Marines in a Marauder or two. Already putting out some hurt onto the Stalkers, a couple of them blinking away out into the middle, and straight down the center here from Creator. Looking good, able to grab one Marine and another Marine as well. Again, job well done so far. Biostimming in, it's going to be another pylon picked off, and Nexus taking quite some damage as well. So Bomber, I mean, this is kind of the one thing he's really got with this bio play. It's a strong initial push. So he's going to pop the Guardian Shields, got the Force Fields to help, but it might connect quite nicely. The Archon coming in as well, and Bomber will not get rid of. They will not get rid of the Nexus. So you're going to see a Storm charge on the way out as well. Still just going to be seeing Bomber setting up here in the center, and it's going to continue to his army move forwards then down toward the 3rd base. Comes down, and still just see the army of Creator looking to play. I mean, has to play defensive here, right? Bomber is aggressive in this scenario, and Creator gets Storm up. It's the first one, but he doesn't really have another set to go. He's got a few items still in that prism, so we'll see if he can get another Storm off. And there it is. Oh, it's so well played. It's in the center of where he's then going to run back through. That was a really nice little bit of movement there, and Creator gets a good few pickoffs. Bomber's going to have to give up the chase for a moment. Now, he does have a 3rd CC, so he will be able to float that out, and he's going to float it forward, so he's going to take the forward base, so he can try and keep pushing here. Bomber playing a very aggressive style of TvP. For the moment is kind of working. Just this, you know, bio-heavy style absolutely making some progress along the way. Medevac's out over to the right. So they're going to come down here towards the natural expansion, and just going to see Creator will have to go and recall to deal with this drop. So recalls in, now we'll be able to blink underneath the Medevacs. Actually didn't even fully unload. Tries to lift up now, and oh, no Stalkers to actually get the final shot or two. So the medevacs are able to escape away. Now another pylon going to get picked off. Bomber out in the center. Bio army here is set up so far, and elsewhere, still Marauder's trying to deal some more damage to these Archons. Widowmine's going to go off, a nice pickup, create a great micro actually. And he might even, if he goes for that medevac, be able to get it. He decides to hold back and clean the Widowmine off. Just feels like Bomber's hitting a brick wall. It looks just like Creator, because Creator's army just doesn't let him through. And it's just, again, Bomber's just kind of playing this kind of heavy bio style. He is teching up a bit more this time, at least. He has a few Widow Mines in, he's got Liberators coming up, and he's going into Ghosts as well. So he's making the right sort of choice. That's a lot of tech, by the way, for just 3 bases. That's almost the amount of tech you'd expect to see coming in when you go up to 4 bases, but 3 bases and going into all of it for the moment. Just needs to make sure he doesn't let his bio count then drop too low down, right? Because it's all well and good having the tech, but if you don't have that kind of sturdy force to begin with underneath as well, it's not really going to matter. Are still charging into this here, and a couple of Widow Mines looking to try and go off. Fire's still pressing down the bottom left side, and again, you're just going to see a Nexus dropping down. Couple extra Ghosts just on the way. 2 more Colossus building up from Creator too, and again, this army continuing all the way down the bottom, so... Again, aggressive here, a couple of Zards. Already being picked away at. Stalker's trying to press them forwards there. They'll actually blink back over the right side. Disruptor's on the way out to follow the Colossus here, so he actually builds... what, 2 Colossus, and now he's going to have disruptive production starting. Colossus are kind of that consistent splash damage kind of way to go. Disruptors are a little bit more hit and miss. The Stalkers have an interesting position because they're able to kind of get on top of the Liberators. This army is really split up, which makes it hard to EMP, but it's also not exactly dealing the most amount of damage it could be at this point. Bit of an interesting start to that as we see this Zealot from Creator charging in, but then realizing there's better things to do. I mean, as Creator, you just want to survive for longer and longer, because the longer you survive here, the more disruptors you have. Until you get to like 4 or 5 disruptors, then you're kind of feeling pretty good. Getting rid of the first 2 Liberators is really great as well, because that keeps the Liberator count from ever really getting too crazy. You know, once you get up to like 5, 6 Liberators, then the pros player has to start thinking about, well, that's hard to deal with just Stalkers as well. There's no fusion core yet, so one thing Bomber will probably be missing here is the advanced ballistics, the Liberator range. So without that, the Libs are still somewhat engageable by Stalkers no matter what. Unless you really get pinned into a corner, then it hurts. That's a massive storm load to open up, and just using the Disruptors to clean out Widow Mines at the moment works as well. We're pretty much at our last couple of Widow Mines. Can't afford to keep building more because of what else is being built here. A little of directional attacks here from Creator, gets a Disruptor shot onto it, goes. But he's run out of Zealots, so Bomber might just be able to break through now. Another Storm dropping down. Liberator showing up and sieging up. Zealots from the left side. Is there any EMPs or anything to help out with that? I don't think so. The Ghosts are all out of energy. Liberator sieging on the right, and these Zealots continue to drop. Well, it looks as though it's going to go down. A couple of Disruptors to the side. Oh, that Colossus just gets saved, and this Immortal is going to drop as well. I feel like Bomber's broken through, but then I'm not quite convinced. These extra Warpins are probably going to turn him away. And then in the end, what has he actually really achieved here? Well, you know, he's achieved the idea of, you know, he's traded armies. He's not really dealt any damage, and Creator still sits up almost 20 workers in the game. And so as Bomber, you don't really do the damage you're looking for. Liberator's coming through, looking for the siege ups once again. The Stalkers are desperately blinking on them when they can. Again, that's scary. A number of Liberators. It's starting to get there, but it's still only 3. The biggest issue may be that Creator did lose a few Stalkers before now. Well, okay. Now he probably could have... Okay, he misses the target fire, otherwise he would have gotten rid of both those Liberators already, I think, the lower health ones. Just going to be seeing our Disruptors hanging out. Stalkers pressing in as the Liberator going down, Disruptor Shot firing, and another couple of Libs getting picked off as well. Still this Bio Force still coming forwards into this here. So let's go charging forwards, and the Stalkers going to be able to pick away at a few more of these medevacts, so a little bit more of that going down. Archon lifts back up, and we're just going to be seeing another Disruptor or two going down. Archon has to get lifted up as well. There's a couple more medevacts continue to drop also. A lot of pickoffs there. Results will warp in. You see a Disruptor Shot firing, and again, just an Archon or two going down. Folks will be able to clean up. Continue push forwards from Crater is strong enough to make this work, and that's GG. Crater grabs game 2.